don't know if anybody's in chat right now. I'm currently doing all the promo stuff. So, it just occurred to me, I should probably post this on Twitter. Never actually done that. Let's do that now. Cool. Alright. Is anybody in? Hey, Pi! Hello, how are you? There was somebody in chat after all, would you look at that? Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to crafting some spells. How do we want to start out? Let me just quickly pull up my favorite thing. Another stream within the same year. This is the third... Why did I hold up one finger? This is the third stream in this series, whatever you want to call it. So there's going to be plenty more. I actually plan on streaming the next class I'm going to be making. Barbosa, hello. First time seeing your actual face. True, you're not a true fan. You're not a true fan. True fan. No, you're not. Fake fan, everyone. Just kidding. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Long time ago, I actually did a face reveal for... I want to say, like, passing 1,000 subscribers? I think? Maybe. It's been way too long. I can't remember, but I know I've done it before. And on certain streams, I think I did. Maybe. Oh no, also that 3D video I did, where like you could swivel the whole camera around, where like one of the videos was like my face and then the two other ones were like gameplay. No. Oh yeah, it was like, no, there was one, like you could do the whole screen move around thing if you drag the screen. It was like my face on one of them, gameplay on another, and then the scrolling news post on the other one. Needless to say, I've never done that again, and I've forgotten how to do it, so I won't be doing that ever again. But it was fun, it was interesting, it was a neat little experiment. What was I doing? Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Perfect. I have found it. I can proceed. Yeah, I might have missed that. Yep, definitely missed that. Fake fan. No, just kidding. Doesn't matter. I'm just joking. Just so we're clear. Okay. But anyway, if you don't know what's going on here, we are making spells for D&D. The top, I think, if you just click the pin comment, it should expand there to reveal what you need to do to get in. Or get a spell in. So I think what we're going to do, because I've looked through a lot of these other ones, and I don't really have any ideas for them at the moment. But I do have an idea for something Jutomi sent. His quote was, "Absurdly giant crab claw." And then later, I think it might have been him or someone else said, "Crits crushing claw," which, if you don't know the YouTuber Crit Crab, I guess you're not part of the D&D community, which I don't blame most people here. I believe Barbosa and Pi, you're both from the Robocraft side of my community. Not that that's still alive anymore, but thanks for sticking around, I suppose. Vaguely no, Crabby Boy. Yeah, it mainly does like stories. Like, I haven't watched his content recently. But like I watched a few videos a long time ago, and it's based from that. I assume he does the same thing. It's basically just like he takes a story off of Reddit or some forum, or somebody submits a story, and then he talks about that. I think that's still what he does. But yeah, anyway. Let's get to making that spell. So my... I'm more familiar with Dungeon Dudes, Zebashu. Oh, Zebashu is great. Fantastic. All things D&D, D&D shorts, and Turlock the Barbarian. Okay. Yeah, out of that, Dungeon Dudes and Z, I definitely watch a lot of that. All things D&D, I used to watch a lot, but I don't know why I stopped watching. I just ran out of time. Like a lot of the stories are long, and I don't know. Yeah, why did I stop watching? Oh, well, anyway. D&D shorts, Turlock. I've never actually watched a Turlock video. I've heard people talk about him, but never once. Working on shortening his stories to 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. That's good. I remember... I think one of the last ones I watched was actually a Warhammer story, where, like, it went on for, like, 5+ different parts, and, like, the DM was very kind of like, I don't know. You know, like, killed the characters over again, and they killed them again, and then killed them again for good measure. And then he was just like, oh, surprise, it's like my DM style, here's your dead characters, but like, reborn, or something like that. It was weird. I stopped watching that one, mainly because, like, I was rolling my eyes at what the DM was doing. Like, I would not want to be in that game, personally. Anyway, it seems like we're getting a lot of 4th level spells, but I kind of... What I want to do with this spell is... it warrants at least 4th level or up, I think. Oof, that was a while ago. When was that? Because I've lost track of his upload schedule. Like, I'm still subscribed, but, like... I want to say that was, like... 3 months ago? Or was that, like, a year ago? I can't remember. Anyway. Almost a year. Ooh, time flies. Okay, so 4th level. I think this is our first Transmutation Spell. So 1. What's the spell do? Okay, so let's get rid of all this, just so we're not reading fake stuff. So the plan with this one, or at least what I'm thinking so far, is you basically cast the spell, and one of your arms, either, you know, your left, your right, or if you're a Thrycreen, I guess it could be one of your sub-arms, but you know what I mean. One of your arms gets turned into a singular giant crab claw. So what that's going to do is it's going to give you an armor class boost. I'm thinking just a +1, because I don't think that's too powerful. It's going to be concentration for a minute. Yeah, concentration melee spells always kind of suck, but like at least you're going to get a AC boost, so that's kind of nice. And then it's going to... you can use your action. Yeah, use your action. Yeah, this has to be a bonus action casting spell. So before I forget, bonus action. So yeah, you're going to use your bonus action to cast the spell, and then you can, while you're concentrating, use your action to take your giant claw and pinch at someone, doing slashing damage. And if you score a critical hit, it deals even more damage. Or it's easier to crit with this. It'll crit on a 19. I think... yeah. I think it may... yeah, the original plan... I'm trying to remember. The original plan was 19-20 crit range. Because it's a crit crab reference, but also you have to do something with crits. Because it's got crit in the name. Just catch up with chat here. Hey, if you can do this super quickly, can you explain the bare bones basics of D&D and how it works? Oh, we have a D&D baby here. Also, is there different types of D&Ds? Seems like anything can happen, like a role-playing game. The basics of D&D is that it's a tabletop RPG, but a lot of people only really know of D&D, so they kind of refer to as tabletop RPGs as just D&D. There's your blanking term, but D&D is a game. There's like Pathfinder, which is kind of like D&D. Well, it was actually based off of 3.5 D&D, but that's basically a lot more crunchy and technical. And then there's like completely different games, like Call of Cthulhu is another one. It's basically just like your characters are not very powerful, and there's eldritch abominations everywhere, and you have to like solve mysteries. I've never played it, but it seems interesting. There's a ton of other ones, but I'm getting off track here. So D&D. D&D is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game. So you get a D20 and all the other sizes of dice, and you basically make a character using a set of rules. You choose a class, you choose a race, and you choose your background, and sort of design your character around that. Like, you don't have to necessarily make yourself in D&D. You could, like, be someone you're not. You could be, like, super crazy, bolsterous, and loud, and, like, bump your charisma score up and get proficiency with intimidation and whatnot. And just be, like... that's, like, the beauty of D&D, right? Or at least how I personally think it should be played, is, like... you don't necessarily have to act out your character, and like, it's like if you want to be, if you're a really shy person playing a barbarian with really good intimidation skills, you can just be like, oh yeah, so my barbarian roleplays, or not roleplays, intimidates. He probably says something along the lines of, you're a meanie, you suck, boo, and then you roll your d20, and you get like a 10, and you're like, oh man, a 10, and then you take a look at your intelligence bonus, and you're like, hot damn, I have a +8, so that's an 18. Does that do anything? And the DM is like, yeah. The guy's shitting his pants in fear, and he runs away. So stuff like that. But of course, you know, if you are good at playing that kind of character, you can literally be like, stand up at the table and be like, oh, I rage, and, you know, act it out, right? But you don't necessarily have to do that. Oh, okay, so D20. So, is it dice with 20 sides? Yes, it's a dice with 20 sides. There is also D12, D10, 8, 6, and 4. There's also... or those are the ones that are used in D&D, at least. There's some other weirder dice out there, I'm sure. I've seen like a D28 one time, I think. Anyway. What else? That's basically the gist of it. So there's like... yeah, D2 is literally just a coin. Yeah, there is a D100, but... it's not actually a die with a... well, actually, you can actually get a dice with 100 sides, and it's basically a sphere. It's very difficult to stop rolling. But typically what you do, you just take 2 D10s, and then you roll them together, and then there's a specific way to determine that. Seal Castro. I think I'm saying that right. Hello. How are you? Hopefully you're understanding what's going on. Basically, Pi is asking what D&D is. He's a D&D noob. So this is my very scatterbrained response to what D&D is. I don't think I'm doing the most fantastic of jobs. But there's like classes, I guess we can talk about that. I won't go into the specifics, but there's like, you know, fighter, cleric, wizard, ranger, so on and so forth. I've actually designed quite a few. Shameless plug in the description. I got quite a few. There's a lot of cool ones. The Golemaster is my favorite, if you like golems. Anyway, continuing the shameless plug, let's get back on topic. So yeah, there's a bunch of classes, there's a bunch of skills, and of course there's a bunch of spells, which is what we're doing here. I mean, I could probably go on forever, but I suppose that's not really the point of this live stream, now is it? We're here to design spells. But, Pi, if you do have any more questions, so I can ask, like, or answer anything specifically you're asking instead of just rambling, scatterbrained craziness going on here, feel free. I get it a little more thanks. I watch some people that used to play it, and they had a D100 that they showed off. Okay. Thank you, you did a good job so far. Yeah, let's make more sales. Yeah, woohoo. The Golemaster is actually getting very close. It is 4 away from Copper now, which is very surprising. I didn't think that one would get as high as it did. For a while it was like one of my least selling classes, and now sadly the Channeler is my least selling class. But it's also the newest class, so... Oh, Yoda! Hello. What class are you working on? Currently I'm not working on a class, Yoda. I am working on spells, but I do plan on streaming my Sealer at some point, which is a full caster that has a heavy focus on creating terrain, rituals. It's good at rituals and making spell scrolls, but it has like a unique sealing mechanic where it literally runs around the battlefield and it makes a zone, and then things in that zone happen. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's almost also my first take at a full caster, so that'll be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to getting that one out. Though, with the announcement of 1 D&D, it's kind of like... There was a point where I was like, do I continue working on it? But I think, yeah, I'm gonna work on it, because like, we still have 2 entire years before that comes out. And kind of what Taryn and I have been talking about is like, you know, I'm sure there's still going to be a lot of people that use the 5e rules, and besides, this is very, 1 D&D, whatever they decide to call it, is going to be backwards compatible, so could be pretty cool. So I think I will just keep working on it. Recommendation for spellcasters: do not try and create a new system. That's a nightmare. I mean, I've already made the system, so I think it's fine. It's actually not that in-depth of a system. Like, I've had the system written out for a while. It's fairly straightforward, so I'm not too worried about that. Because it's more of like an adjacent thing, not like, here is the brand new mechanic that like dwarfs everything. It's like, here's your sealing mechanic, and you'll get a list of like maybe 12 to 16 seals you can put down on the battlefield. So let me see. I can just catch up with chat because I have Missed a few things. Bit more sales. Yoda popped in. Working on the Gatekeeper. Ah, okay, yeah. I heard that's going pretty well for you. You had a pretty good playtest with that one. It's a nightmare. Wait, how do you sell your D&D stuff? Like, how do people not copy your stuff and just use it in their own games? Well, that's the beauty. There's no way to prevent that. In the same way that, like, Wizards of the Coast stuff, like the official books, can't just be, like, uploaded online somewhere. Inevitably, it's gonna happen. Like, as Benjamin Huffman, like, the Pugilist, which is the highest-selling class, a third-party class, ever, as far as I'm aware, he said he sold, like, 26,000 copies of that. And that's, like, he sold that many. That class is on so many pirate sites, it's not even funny. It's, like, on all of them. So, it's probably been pirated, like, 100,000 times, probably. It's insane. Okay, lol. Yeah, okay, lol, indeed. Basically, it's on a site called the DM's Guild, where we basically have the rights to use Wizards of the Coast's IP for Dungeons & Dragons. They take a very large profit share, and we get the other half. But yeah, I don't know, I complain, but, you know, it's not that bad. It's a really good starting point. Yeah, piracy thing's part of why I'm not trying to even sell my stuff. I would still sell it. Honestly, I would still do it. Because, like, sure, because here's the thing with piracy. Look, I know this is a spell design stream. We have not barely gotten into making a spell. But I hope you don't mind talking. But here's the thing, like, when it comes to piracy, you know, there's a lot of lower income people who just, like, want to play that class but couldn't play it anyway, so that's kind of how they go about doing it. And then you either get one, they never pay for it, which is like, okay, sure, but they share it around, and it gets the word out. Two, maybe they get more money, and eventually they're like, you know what, I've enjoyed this for a long time. This has basically been like a demo for me. I think it's time I should probably throw some money their way. Or, well, I guess three. It's kind of what I said in one. It just gets the word out, you know? Everyone's like, oh, that's that class by so-and-so. I might have pirated it a while back. But eventually I bought it. You should too, friend. And then, you know, it shares around and they talk about it. So, honestly, I wouldn't worry. Like, I know me personally, I have a massive problem with, like, sharing stuff online before it comes out. Like, I was, like, I totally understand where you're coming from, Barbosa. It's pretty scary to put yourself out there, especially when you don't have any kind of, like, footing in the scene already. To be like, okay, while I'm working on this thing, somebody's just gonna come in and snag all my stuff and put it out before me. That's, like, what my biggest fear was. So I'm kind of dipping my foot into the scene with this whole spell design thing. That's kind of my my idea here, to try and get over that fear, that mentality that I have. But yeah, the big inspiration for this kind of stream was from Indestructiboy on YouTube. He's another D&D channel. Really good one, honestly. Probably one of my favorites, for sure. If you haven't checked him out, go do that now. He's also done a lot of cool classes. Yeah, he streams a lot of his class design, which is really cool. Yeah, Terran's a great guy. Anyway, let's catch up with chat. Maybe I'll get distracted again. Who knows? If I don't get distracted, then we'll get back to spell design. Oh. Thought you meant about the DM's Guild. I don't even try to use others' homebrew for that reason, unless the DM tells me to use it. But yeah, back to Crit's Crushing Claw, I recommend having it auto-grapple on a crit. Yeah, that could be interesting, actually. When you... Yeah, I kind of like that, actually. When you score a critical hit with this attack, you automatically take the grapple action as a part of the same action. You can use your... You can use your spellcasting modifier instead of your strength score for the grapple. That could be interesting. I should stop distracting you on the spell jam. Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I was having fun rambling. I'm in no big rush to get all this stuff out. So... Oh, it's a turn-based... Yeah, so this isn't a video game, right? This is like, you're actually sitting at a table or using a virtual tabletop, which is effectively the same thing. You're like physically moving your tokens around the board. But yeah, it's basically a turn-based RPG. Is the best way to put it. When you critically hit with an attack with this claw, the creature is immediately grappled and must make a strength athletics check against your spell save DC. You know what? That's a lot better. That's a lot better of a way to put it, actually. Yeah, I like that a lot more than what I said, actually. Good job. Is it like XCOM 2? I don't know. I've only seen gameplay of XCOM. I've never actually played it myself. But basically, combat starts, you've got your initiative roll to make. So you take your d20, you take your dexterity modifier, you roll the die, and then, cool, you rolled a 20, you've got a +2 dexterity, you're now 22. And then all the monsters and stuff roll, your allies roll, and like a monster gets a 17, so they're below you, an ally gets a 25, so they go above you, and then every other monster gets like a 5, a 2, and a 1. So they're all the way at the bottom of the initiative score. And combat starts. Okay, cool. We take a look at the top of the list. It's the person with the 25. They go first. You got the 22. You go second, and then the monsters, and then, cool. Next round starts. It goes back up to the top with the person at 25, and it goes down again. Next round, so on and so forth. Be sure to add when they can make this check. Yeah, totally. So first things first, let's actually get all of this done up. So, verbal, somatic. I think it would be cool to just have somatic, like take your arm and just kind of like swipe at it, and then boom, you get your crab claw. I think material, a crab shell. Duration of... let's see... Yeah, it's gonna be 1 minute. I think that's good. You can't use the claw for... you can't use the claw to attack. I think... a diamond-encrusted crab claw worth 100 GP. I think a regular crab claw is fine. If this was like... If this was something that turned you into a giant enemy crab, that you could, like, stomp on things, then, yeah, maybe, but I think, okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like, do we really need to diamond encrust everything and give it a gold cost? Not that that's a bad thing, you know, it's always nice to have gold cost, balanced spells. Concentration up to a minute. Crab shell, self, 1 bonus action. Crit does have a crown. Yeah. I think that's too on the nose, though. So. Yeah. But as far as when you grapple something, you can't use the claw to attack, I think the wording should be you can't use the claw to attack something else. Meaning that you can still attack the thing you're grappling, you just, like, squeeze it to death, right? So, how do we start this? You... Makes sense, yeah. You transform one of your arms into a giant crab claw. While you have... let's see, you transform one of your arms into a giant crab claw for the... of the spell. Because you gotta be specific sometimes. Other people are gonna look, ooh, you have a crab claw permanently now? Also, this spell would be so busted on Thrycreen. Yeah. I suppose, but I mean, Thrycreen are already pretty busted to begin with, so I think most people would probably ban them from their table. Although I haven't like took too deep of a dive into the revised Thrycreen, but I saw what they looked like in the UA, and I don't think they've changed much from that. I also have a 4-armed race that I have made myself. A moth people, because moths are cool. I never released it because I kind of found that there was something already out there that just coincidentally was incredibly similar to what I made, so I was like, it's not worth getting accused of plagiarism for. Oh, we have a prompt here. Oh, before I forget, this one is from J-U-T-O-M-I. Good, I got it right. Thrycreen can't use any weapon that lacks the light property. Yeah. Anyway, back to the prompt. Double Koi, I think I'm saying that right. Hello, welcome to the stream. But your prompt is channel patron. The warlock becomes the physical vessel of their patron and gains effects based on the type of patron they have, at the cost of a spell slot and a level of exhaustion. Yeah? That is pretty cool. I don't know, however, about, the one thing I'm not sure of with that one is tying it directly to the patron, because that means I have to make an entire list of every patron out there, and the issue with that is, 1, it's going to be very long, 2, what happens when Wizards of the Coast releases a new patron, and 3, what happens with all the third-party books out there that have Warlock patrons? I just guess they can't use the spell. Or I'm gonna have to figure out every third-party creator, hit them up and be like, hey, can I use or reference your thing? So I think maybe something a bit more widely usable or applicable, but like that's definitely something we could do, because I mean I've done a huge amount of Sorcerer specific spells, so why not throw in a couple for the Warlock. That's not a bad idea. So I want to make sure I'm not trying to like poo-poo your idea or make it or put it down. I do think the idea is really cool. I'm just worried about future proofing is all. D-U-B-B-L-E. Yeah, I got it. Cool. Okay. Thrycreen, smart. It's a smart and fair way to begin the game. Hypothetical, can you make up a spell that adds a point to your dexterity to bump you up mid-game and effectively skip the guy you jump over? Oh, in reference to initiative order. Is that what you're talking about? There's nothing in the game like that, but I suppose we could make something like that? Huh. That's actually kind of interesting. A spell that literally... What if it could affect others? What if you could target another creature with it? Ooh. Okay, that right there, that could be pretty good. But... It would have to be a pretty high-level spell, because otherwise you'd just be like, haha, I'm going to spam you way to the top of the initiative order, which... Is that powerful, though? I don't know. That's something to mull over, but I will go ahead and write that down. I do see another prompt in there as well that I will jot down. Is pie with something to increase your Yeah, trying to find a narrative for that is also going to be a little interesting, because, like, what exactly would that be? Like, you're sharpening their mind and senses? I don't know. But we shall find out. Eventually. So, the other prompt... maybe base it... Oh, for that, for what Dubalkai said. Maybe base it on what kind of patron they are, like demon, gods, and stuff. Yeah, we could do that. Like, just have a list of, like... I mean, technically they could, like, pick whatever one they wanted, but, like... Thematically, you're supposed to pick... Like, if you're the genie, you would pick the elemental thing. And if you cast this spell and your patron is an elemental, you gain these benefits. Instead of being like, here's what genie warlocks get. But that's kind of a bad example. There's only one elemental patron. There's a lot of eldritch or aberrant ones, so the aberration creature type. Yeah, I see what you're getting at. Yes, the spells are brewing. The spells are brewing indeed. So this one is from Leo. Is it Lyoko or Loyoko? Oh. And now, is it Barbosa? Barbosa? I think it's Barbosa. Lyoko. Okay, cool. Lyoko Barbosa. And you said, a spell that makes you physically and magically register as being diseased with a disease of your choice. Oh, okay. So, kind of like... a spell that is almost like a... Not necessarily a counter, just something to kind of mess up with detect poison and disease. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I will snag that and add it to the list. Not specific to each patron, just if they are, for example, a demon or fae or something. Okay, yeah, so some more creature types then. Okay. Best way to avoid making it... best way to avoid it is making it a reaction spell that can only activate when a creature rolls for initiative. Okay, maybe. Yeah, reaction when rolling for initiative. Because then you couldn't spam it. Yeah, that's a good point. Code Lyoko. Yeah, it's what I assumed it was based on. Maybe peering into the future. I actually have a few spells like that lined up already in my like notes app, so those will make it in as well. I've got these spells, but I've also got ones that I've made prompts of my own for. In short, you're basically robbing their reaction speed or giving someone additional reaction speed. Yeah, that's basically the narrative it kind of goes for if you're going to go with reaction only. Because that also shores up the big issue of just like, okay, time to do nothing but bump this guy up to the top of the initiative order, and that's all I'm gonna do in combat. I should probably save. Cool. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the spell that we've been neglecting for how long? I don't know, but let's find out. How long have I been streaming for? Oh dear God, it's been 47 minutes, and we haven't made a single spell. I am very sorry. You transform one of your arms into a giant crab claw for the duration. While you have this claw, you can use your action on your turn to make a... Is it? I'm debating whether or not this is a melee weapon attack or a melee spell attack. I'm pretty sure there's a decent amount of abilities, actually, that proc off of a melee weapon attack. Yeah, I think it's best we make this a spell attack. Make a melee spell attack against a creature you can see within almost an hour off. Yeah, yikes. Melee spell attack, yeah. I mean, you're making spells, so maybe a spell. I'm confused by what you're saying. I'm sorry. Now the question is, chat, do we give this reach? Is this a 5-foot attack, or is this a 10-foot attack? Because this is a pretty big claw. A meaty claw, one might say. It's 4th level. Ooh, yikes. If you give it reach, you'll need to drop the damage a bit. Yeah, exactly. That's what my thinking. 10-foot melee weapon attack, IMO. I'm pretty sold on the spell attack thing, just because I don't want it like synergizing with things that proc off of weapon attacks. But yeah, I think, yeah, chat's kind of leaning me in the direction of making this a 10-foot attack, so I think it's going to be a 10-foot. It's going to have reach to it. And that also kind of sort of solves the issue of concentration melee spells sucking. We still need to keep Shadow Blade in mind, though. Could be an unarmed attack. Yeah, but if you can, like, if you can make a spell scroll of this, like jot a spell scroll down, and now give this to a monk, because it's now an unarmed strike, that monk can use this giant crab claw like a gazillion times and do like absurd amounts of damage. Monks can't... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Monks... Yeah, because it does have to be on their spell list. That's right. I keep forgetting that. Most people just kind of like, oh, use it. Cool. Yeah, they can't exactly. They can use spell rot tattoos. I think that's what I was thinking of. Against a creature you can see within 10 feet. On a hit. Good luck finding someone with calligraphy proficiency. Oh. Well, see, that's where my Sealer class comes in. There's actually going to be a subclass specifically around tattooing. I don't know if this is going to be on the Sealer spell list, though. But, you know. On a hit, they take 2d... You know what, let's go with that. 2d12 kind of sounds weird and wonky. But that is quite a bit. 2d10. So I have to think about upscaling, or upcasting. Because, yeah, casting it... Yeah... Upcasting this to 5th level and instantly getting a potential damage buff of up to 12. The Space Gamer. Knock knock, hello, hello, hello. What is the monk in D&D? Yes, the monk is a class in D&D. It's basically traditional kung fu movie, the class, pretty much. Yeah, martial arts class, basically. Sounds like a better great axe longsword. Yeah, but you're also, like, expending a 4th level slot to bring this up, and it's concentration, so... Yeah, as usual, we'll circle back around to damage later, I think. How many classes do you have? Oh, okay. I think I see what you're getting. No, Monk is not one of my classes. Monk is a base class. There are 13 base classes. Let's see if I can... Actually, I have some of them here. Artificer, Bard, Cleric, Culinarian is one of mine. Druid, Paladin, Ranger, Soul Weaver, that's one of mine. Sorcerer, Spellslinger, also one of mine. Warlock, and Wizard. But those are only the ones with the spell slots. There's also Fighter, Barbarian, Monk, and Rogue. Those are all baseline. And then for mine, there's the Soul Weaver, which is like Design a Pet, the class. You've got Spellslinger, Magic Guns, the class. You've got Culinarian, was my 3rd one, which is like team supportive buff kind of battle chef, the class, basically. Goldomancer, my pride and joy, my baby, my favorite one, which is mech suit, the class, essentially. It's also got an entirely new magic system. And my most recent one, which is the Channeler, which is anime power-up, the class, effectively. Space Gamer, what are you referring to exactly? A 5e race for the Lin. Like the anime one. I also like the anime one. I had a lot of fun writing that. I think I did a lot of really unique stuff with that one. It's got like a power-up mechanic in it that's like never been done before in D&D. Oh, that's what I try and do, or at least recently. Ever since... Well, actually with most of my classes, they're all fairly unique. Spellslinger is like... isn't too unique. Soul Weaver also isn't too unique. Those are kind of my earlier ones. But, like, ever since the Golemancer, I just kind of really stepped it up with, like, okay, you know what? This ain't a spellcaster. I'm just going to invent a brand new magic system. On top of giving you a golem to ride, which is also a system in and of itself. So, that was a lot of work, but a lot of fun. The Channeler also is a martial class with spell-like abilities. So it's not really a martial in the truest sense of, like, they don't get magic. But, yeah, I forget where I was going with that. But anyway, point is, I enjoy making classes, can't you tell? Where's the anime one? Where do I see the anime one in your Discord? It should be the announcements. If you scroll up enough, you should see something called the Channeler. Or I just want to check to see if was I smart? And I haven't actually. Oh, huh. I thought I put it in my description for the video, but what you could also do is go to go to my Discord profile or my Twitter profile. There should be a link called beacons.ai, and it's basically got a master list of all the links to all the stuff I make. Channeler is basically JoJo the class. Not at all. It's more like Goku the class. But there is a JoJo reference class, which is one where you get like you can call on a spirit from Ysgard, which is one of the planes where basically all the worthy warriors go when they die to they're basically given eternal life, and they just fight forever. When they die in glorious battle, they rise up the next day, and they keep fighting. They're not fighting for anything. They're just literally fighting because they enjoy fighting. Basically Valhalla. Yes, basically Valhalla. But basically you summon a spirit from there to fight alongside you, and of course, their spirit's all about fighting, so they're like, hell yeah, a reason to fight? Absolutely, I'll join you. I thought that was a really cool subclass. Aberrate body. The caster chooses a target in range, changes one of the limbs of their choice to a weird limb from a list, granting an ability, disadvantage or advantage if they're willing. So another transmutation thing. I mean, I'll certainly add that. Let's see. Again, that's another more in-depth one, but I'm sure I could do something with that. Eventually, I just need some time to stew on that. I think something like a Sands beam attack would be interesting. I actually have that. It's a warlock-specific one, where like you basically, instead of the beam coming out from you, you like point somewhere, like, yeah, I want the beam to come out from there, and you aim it. And then like 20 feet away, you can be like, oh, I know they're down that hallway that way. So you like position the beam at the beginning of the hallway, and you point it, and it blasts down the hallway. So you're like at safety. You don't have to like look down the hallway at all. You can like beam there, fire that way, and it just irradiates everything in the hallway. And you're like, cool, keep walking. That spell was a lot of fun to write. Summon a deck of playing cards that vanishes after you make a check with them. That sounds like a cantrip. A little, card tricks, the cantrip. I don't mind that. So I think I might have to stop taking suggestions or figure out a better way to do it. Not that I don't mind the suggestions, I mean, keep them flowing, it's really nice, but I think what I might have to do is just be like, okay, maybe like, alright guys, give me your prompts, and then I spend like 20 minutes kind of like going and talking about prompts, because like, right now as it is, I'm like, alright, let's go back to writing this spell, ooh, prompt! And then you go back up and type the prompt out, and you're like, alright, time to get back to work, another prompt! Ooh. You know what I mean? Yeah, I might have to do that next live stream. Maybe, we'll see. Anyway. Wild Magic, first level spell. What? A D1 is just something like prestidigitation. Then on, oh, okay, on a result of 1, I thought you're like, roll a D1, and it's like, wait a second. 95, summon a Tarask. No, I am not having a 5% chance on a level 1 spell to summon a Tarask. Yeah, sounds fair. Ooh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so if any prompts show up in the chat, I will try my best to ignore them until the spell is done, and then go back and look at the prompts. How's that? Okay. So, like I was saying before, damage, we can sort that out later. I think they take slashing damage. On hit, they take 2d10 slashing damage. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. If you score a hit, the target must be on a strength or dexterity. Dexterity would be dodging out of the way, but a crit implies that you've hit them so well that they don't really have a way of escaping. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be strength. Must succeed on a... Wow, I got all of those spelled incorrectly. Would you look at that? Or become crumbled. what I like to do with conditions and whatnot is italicize them. While you have a creature grappled in this way, you are only able to use the claw to attack that creature. Okay. I want to kill my player's root. Oh, you're talking about your Tarask summoning thing again. Oh, by the way, off topic, what are your thoughts on the comment I made about the Gatekeeper being a match for Spelljammer? Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was very coincidental that all that happened. It was a very happy coincidence. I'd say piercing damage is... Wait. The spell where you could fire a beam down a hallway, how does it scale on higher levels? You can actually go ahead and check that out yourself. On my Patreon, there is the Soulforged Spellbook available to everyone for free. Ooh. So yeah, if you want more spells, there's currently 50 in there. I think the beam does it's been a while since I've looked at it, but I think it's literally just, it does 1d8 more force damage per level. It might be a d6, or it might be a d8, I can't remember. It's one of those two. While you have a creature, you cannot attack other creatures with your claw. While you have a creature grappled in this way, you are only able to use the claw to attack that creature. You cannot attack another creature with the claw. I mean, this wording is also pretty direct. Like, okay, cool, I can still attack the creature I'm grappling. But I can't attack anything else. So it still has that implication that you can't attack anything else. I might change the wording again, like with everything in here. It's not finalized. It's only finalized once I actually slap it into the new edition of the spellbook. Strength saving throw harder to overcome than it normally happens when you don't crit. Yeah, strength save is less common, and as such, a lot of caster types typically drop strength. Yeah. So... strength saves don't come up too often, but this is mainly going to be used against monsters, and most monsters have a fairly decent strength score. Unless you're fighting an enemy wizard, which this is probably the perfect spell to just get up in their face and be like, yeah, you're not going anywhere. What are you going to do? Don't beams usually become bigger as they get stronger? Most spells, like the vast majority of spells, as they scale up in level, don't actually grow in size. Like, Fireball doesn't ever get any bigger than a 20-foot radius. Lightning Bolt doesn't get any larger than a 100-foot line. So it's pretty uncommon for that to happen. I think I have written a few spells that get bigger, but those are my spells. Like, I don't think any spells in the book that specify like an area of effect, such as a beam. I don't think they get bigger. Like, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Do you know of the anime called Overlord? Yeah, Overlord's great. This reminds me of that anime. The Crab Claw? Or the Beam? Anyway. Let's see. While you have this claw, you gain a +1 bonus to your AC, and can use your action on your turn to make a melee spell attack against a creature you can see within 10 feet. On a hit, they take 2d10 slashing damage. If you score a critical hit, the target must succeed on a strength saving throw or become grappled. While you have a creature grappled in this way, you are only able to use the claw to attack that creature. When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 5th level or higher, the slashing damage a creature takes increases by 1d8 for each spell slot above 4th. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay. I'm considering maybe expanding the wording to be like, okay, yeah, you can use this attack to grapple, or make an attack. When you grapple, do the strength saving throw, blah, 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 blah. If you score a crit with the attack roll, you do both. Honestly, Mummy Lord is superior to Lich in every way that matters. Want immortality. Lich makes you consume the souls. Will you... Yeah, honestly, right? Like, I've heard people point that out before, and it's like, yeah, why would anybody become a Lich when they can just become a Mummy Lord, you know? The idea for a beam spell is a spell that splits in half every time it hits a target until the damage hits a lower limit. So basically sleep but damaging. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking of. I don't think that necessarily has to be a beam, but I do like the whole splitting mechanic. That could be kind of interesting to play around with. Well, it's just an idea. Well, this idea is going on the list. That's kind of the whole point of the stream. Is basically to, you know, chat with you guys and see what interesting, wacky ideas you have. So, yeah, by all means, fire away with your ideas. So, crits, crushing claw. What do we need? Oh, yeah, that's right. No, that was not. Here it is. There we go. Example spell list. This is the right one. Yes. Okay. So, the fun now begins. The real juice of this stream. Figuring out what spell list this is going to go on. Ooh. Fun. Exciting, I know. So, I know Pi, you can't quite help us with this, but maybe this might give you some insight into the spells or the spell list. Sorcerer and Artificer, nobody else. Why those ones? Hey, Jatomi! You made it. I don't know if you just got here, but, like, we're literally finishing up your spell as we speak. Assuming you, again, just got here. Yeah, good timing on that one. So yeah, we're just got here. Nice. Good, yeah, that's perfect timing. So what we're doing now is we're just going and figuring out what spell list this is going to go on. So Artificer. When I think Artificer, I think, you know, gadgets and gizmos. But because in the spellcasting section of Artificer, it literally says, hey, you're not actually casting a spell, you're using a gadget you've prepared ahead of time to produce a spell-like effect. So what if instead of, like, transmutation, boom, I have a crab claw, it's literally, okay, cool, I've got this, like, shoulder pauldron on me, right, that you've made ahead of time, and you, like, go press the button and, like, metal unfolds, and it's like boom, 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 boom. Now you have, like, a metal crab claw. So I like that, so I think, yeah, for sure. Bard? No. No. This ain't a support spell, it ain't going on the Bard list. Get this out of here. Cleric? I'm notoriously bad for being able to design cleric spells. And this is also one of them. I'm sorry, Cleric. This is not godly magic. Goodbye. Oh my god! This is a 4th level spell. Meaning that I can actually, just barely, put this on the Culinarian spell list. This is too perfect. This is too perfect. Yeah, this is absolutely going on. That's nice. This is going on the Culinarian spell list. Absolutely. Druid for sure. This is like... This is definitely primordial magic. Arcane Primordial will be the tags for this. Going under the new system they're proposing for the next edition of D&D. Let's see. Also, the amount of damage the spell loses when it splits depending on the spell level. Yeah, well, going back, I assume you're talking about your, like, laser split spell that you've proposed. But yeah, like, upcasting. If it's like sleep, you would roll the damage in a big pool, and if you upcast, you get another die to add to that pool, and, like, boom, it goes here, it splits, and then... But how would it split, though? It's questions for later. Druid and Ranger need this, too. Yeah, Ranger for sure. Can't believe my joke Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with joke... I'm fine with jokes, suggestions. Like, I literally have one spell in my notes Because I was like recently, I heard somebody talking about like the spell Wall of Force, and I was like, you know what? What instead of Wall of Force, it's Wall of Farce. As in, like, you know, farce, like a joke. So it's enchantment. So you basically make a point, you choose a wall you define, and then all creatures in the area are so thoroughly enchanted and convinced that this invisible wall is solid that they will refuse to walk through it. And if they see somebody walk through it, they make a saving throw to be like, wait a second. I don't know. That was a working idea. I thought you said Wall of Farts. No. Stinking Cloud, the wall. I mean... We don't actually have a wall of poisonous gas. We've got like Wall of Flames, we've got Wall of Earth, Wall of Ice, Wall of Force, Wall of Fire. Pretty sure there's like a Thorn Wall. Why not a Wall of Farts? Perfect. Wall of Water, yeah. There's so many wall spells. Why not like... I know, haha, funny fart joke, but like... I might have to write that. Not as like a fart joke, but like literally like, cool, here's like a wall of like dense vapor that you can barely see through and all that. Wall of Light. Oh yeah, there is a Wall of Light. There's so many wall spells, oh my god. Wall of Walls. Oh my god. When you cast this spell, roll a d12 to determine what other wall spell actually is cast. Oh no. We'll need Wall of Darkness too. Yeah, you got Wall of Light, but no Wall of Darkness. But that's just Conjure Wall. Yeah. Wall of Minecraft bricks. I suppose one reason why we might not have that is because the wall spells kind of inherently have to be high level. And like, we all know how poison plays out at higher levels. There's so many things resistant or flat out immune to poison at high levels of play that it's just sad. We need more water and ice spells. Yeah, that's something I'm absolutely addressing in my Soulforge spell list. I've got like, I want to say at least 4 or 5 ice spells. Maybe like 3 water spells. But I've kind of settled on the next update, the theme of the next update, because I have a lot of elemental spells. So it's gonna be, because I like to give them a name and a theme with each update. So I think the theme is like Elemental Chaos or something like that. Like I've got a few really cool water spells that like actually deal damage. Because the issue with a lot of water spells right now in D&D is just like, you summon water. Okay, what does it do? Well, like, they're kind of like trapped in it and they can't breathe. That's it, really. You know? Trying to transmute liquid. Like, transmute liquid into another liquid? Or you're just like, okay. Water is also good for cutting and knockback. Yeah, I got one called Sea Surge, which is literally just like, boom, big force of salty, briny water comes rushing towards you and you get knocked down. Gotta go to bed, got work early in the morning. Yeah, no problem. Have a good night, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you learnt a thing or two about D&D. Maybe I sparked some interest in you. It's always nice to have a few more people playing D&D. But yeah, take care. Anyway. Back to the spell list. Goodbye, Paladin. Ranger. Soul Weaver. The Soul Weaver gets their magic from, like... Much like the Artificer is, like, you're not actually casting spells, you're, like, making things. The Soul Weaver kind of works in the way that, like, you're summoning a temporary creature to perform the effects of the spell. And I think literally just having, like... literally just, like, summoning a big crab on your back. Like a big fiddler crab, where it's got, like, the tiny little claw and, like, the big massive claw. And it just, like, grapples onto your back and, like, slings its big crab claw over your shoulder, and you just kind of use that. Yeah. I like that image, so Soul Weaver is getting this. Gotta come to more of these, learning a lot about D&D. Yeah, awesome. I'd love to have you here. Definitely gonna be doing a lot more of these. I quite like this a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's just very, very chill, which I like. Sorcerer. I don't think it's going to be too effective on a Sorcerer, to be honest. Although I'm sure there's, like, some crazy broken build I'm sure you can make if you, like, take the right meta magics and all that, but, that D6 is not helping them for sure. Transmute, as in turning one liquid into another. Yeah, I guess. The issue with doing something like that is... it's either going to be insanely useless or insanely useful. So, like, okay, cool, I transmute this liquid into wine. Okay. I transmute this fresh water into salt water. Cool. I transmute this water into lava, because lava, technically speaking, is a liquid. Or I transmute this water into mercury, and everyone dies of mercury poisoning. Or I transmute this water into acid, and now everyone gets boiled alive. I was not... Wait, I was saying not to do it? Okay. Water into magma? Yeah. If the wording is transmute a liquid into another liquid, technically speaking, magma is a liquid. But, okay. I was saying not to do it. I mean... we've gotten a lot of spells out of people saying, like, no, don't actually do that. Like, this one right here, this is one of those spells. Firecrackers also is another spell that is, was like, yeah, no, I didn't mean it. That's not actually a spell, but, like, this turned out to be a really cool 7th level spell. So... make a person... water. Yeah. See, the issue with that is, like, now you get into the issue where it's, like, the control water conundrum, as I like to call it, where, like, well, I'll say it like it is, asshole players are like, oh, this says right here, control water. I can control all water. So, the human body is the water. I control the human. I get, fucking control... I get hold person as a cantrip now. That's what it says. Like, no, that's not how that works. So, yeah, I would definitely have to say that, again, not trying to like direct this at you, like this was just like something off the top of my head, like saying like if we did that spell, we would definitely have to make it so it would have to be freestanding liquid. Like, this couldn't be in a person, because then you'd be like, human body, you are now magma. Okay, cool, you've now got, like, Finger of Death as a lower level spell, basically. And, like, how big of a volume, right? You transmute water within a 5-foot cube into another liquid. That could work. You can turn mist into lava. Yeah. Mist is a gas. I do see, though, where you're getting, like... It's a lot closer to... No. Yeah, it would have to be in liquid form, and there'd be a lot of stipulations if we made this spell, so... Yeah, I don't know. I mean... I'll add it to the list, but like I said, this spell is going to require so many stipulations that I don't know if it would be even worth it to write it. But, you know, again, like I said, 2 joke spells turned out to be really good, so... Small droplets of water suspended in a gas. Okay. Yeah. I guess so. Oh, sorry. I guess so. Gotta go, sorry. Yeah, no problem. How long have I been streaming for here? An hour and a half. Yeah. I know we only got 1 spell done, but I'm kind of starting to like lose my voice a little bit, so I think we're gonna basically call the stream here. Like, I know for the other 2 I've basically gone and done it, so I always get 3 spells done, but I did a lot of talking about like Pi was asking about D&D because they've never played D&D before. So we were trying to talk about that. I don't know, we had a lot of good conversations in this. So I don't think it was all, like, you know, all for naught and all that. But yeah, to whoever is still here, thank you for stopping by. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully to have you again sometime in the future. That'd be cool. So, we've got our finalized list. I think this is pretty good. Artificer, Culinarian, Druid Ranger, Soul Weaver, Sorcerer, Warlock, because this definitely screams like Eldritch transformation. You saw me got rid of Spellslinger because Spellslinger is ranged spells only. There is I think there actually are a few spells on their list that are technically self, but like it's self, like Lightning Bolt, right, is technically a self spell, right? And then Wizard, because it's the Wizard. You should add my spell idea scaling I mentioned. When was that? Sorry. Just gotta scroll up and find it. Scaling you mentioned. I'm not seeing anything about... so the amount of damage the spell loses when it splits depends on the spell level. Oh, I see. Okay, that one. Space Gamer. There we go. Cool. Okay. Probably could have worded it better, but I mentioned it as an example of how it scales. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, a lot, like all these are pretty just basic ideas. They're always going to get fleshed out later. But yeah, that's going to do it. Again, thank you everyone for stopping by. And if you're watching the VOD, make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing? I don't know. I'm bad at these outros. I've lost my spark, I suppose. But yeah, do all the YouTubey stuff. Hit the socials. Follow me on Twitter. Buy my books. There's actually a bundle going on right now on the DMs Guild. It's on my Twitter, or not on Twitter. Well, yeah, it's all on Twitter, but it's also on Discord. You can find a link to it there. But yeah, shameless plug out of the way. I, of course, have been the Awesome Soul. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you. Yes, you in particular. I see you right there. I see you next time. Goodbye.